Tidbits from TNT, Tuesday, November 19, 2024. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Tishwash. Turkish Trade Minister to visit Iraq. Turkish Trade Minister Ömer Bolat begins a two-day visit to Iraq on Monday, heading a delegation of contractors and businessmen. Sources in the Turkish Ministry of Trade told Anadolu Agency that the Turkish delegation, headed by Bolat, will visit the capital Baghdad and the city of Basra on November 18 and 19. The Turkish delegation to Iraq includes representatives of the Exporters Council, the Contractors Union, and Turkish companies. The visit includes holding talks between businessmen in the two countries, and discussing opportunities to enhance bilateral relations with the participation of contracting companies. Minister Bolat is scheduled to meet with Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani and hold a bilateral meeting with his counterpart Athir Dawood Salman al-Ghariri, and with Minister of Transport Razak Mahibas al-Sadawi. Turkey's exports to Iraq rose by 5.3% in the first 10 months of this year, recording $10.8 billion. While Iraq's exports to Turkey amounted to $3.7 billion during the same period, recording a 41% decline, while the volume of trade between the two countries amounted to $14.5 billion during the mentioned period. Tishwash. Al-Sudani confirms Iraq's openness to achieving a serious and real partnership with Turkey in various fields. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani received today, Monday, Turkish Minister of Trade Ömer Bolat, who is visiting Iraq with a large delegation of about 150 businessmen from the Exporters Council and the Contractors Union, on a working visit that includes Baghdad and Basra. Al-Sudani stressed, in a government statement, a copy of which was received by Euphrates News during the meeting, Iraq's openness to achieving a serious and real partnership with Turkey in various fields, especially with the government implementing a package of economic reforms that prepared the investment environment within the country, pointing to the government's desire to develop the trade balance between the two countries, with the rapid growth witnessed by industry in Iraq. The statement added, the meeting also discussed the meeting of the Iraqi-Turkish Economic and Trade Committee, which will hold its work in 2 weeks. For his part, Bolat conveyed the greetings of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to the Prime Minister, stressing that the growing relations between the two countries are an opportunity to proceed with what was agreed upon during Erdogan's visit to Iraq, referring to the Strategic Development Road Project, where he expressed his country's readiness to provide all support to proceed with this important project for the region and the world. Tishwash. COP29. Iraq rejects fossil fuels phase down. The Parliamentary Health and Environment Committee announced on Monday the Iraqi delegation's refusal to phase out fossil fuels during its participation in the United Nations Climate Summit COP29, stressing that Iraq seeks to adapt to global environmental standards in line with local privacy. The head of the committee, MP Majid Shankali, told the Iraqi news agency, INA. The Iraqi parliament in this session paid great attention to attending climate conferences, as we participated in COP27 and 28, and today in COP29 in Baku. Shankali added that the participation of the parliamentary delegation in the COP29 conference came to follow up the work of the negotiating delegation and keep abreast of the latest developments in the conference, noting that the climate conference focused on important issues, most notably the gradual phase down of fossil fuels, which is one of the main pillars of the Iraqi economy, which we completely reject. There is a proposal from Azerbaijan to support developing countries by oil countries, but this proposal was rejected, because most oil-producing countries are themselves developing countries, he said. He pointed out that the active political presence of the President of the Republic, under-secretaries of ministries and executive bodies, in addition to the legislative support of the Iraqi parliament, strengthens Iraq's position in these conferences, especially since it will assume the presidency of the G7+ summit with China in the next session. The President of the Republic, Abdul Latif Jamal Rashid, participated in the United Nations Climate Summit COP29, which was held in the Azerbaijani capital Baku from November 12 to 13, which was attended by a large number of United Nations member states in addition to governmental and non-governmental organizations. So, what do we do now, little guy? Ding dong ditch. One day, a policeman is strolling down the street when he notices a tiny boy standing in front of a house, desperately trying to reach the doorbell. The boy, however, is too small, and the doorbell is just out of his grasp. The policeman watches for a moment, amused, before walking over. Gently placing a hand on the boy's shoulder, he leans forward and rings the doorbell for him with a quick press. Squatting down to the boy's level, the policeman grins and asks, "So, what do we do now, little guy?" The boy looks up with a mischievous smile and replies, "Now we run." Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.